Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda Marsalis. Welcome to Heard It on the Shark. I'll be your show host, and Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area is your show sponsor. Heard It on the Shark is a weekly interview show that airs every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Shark 102.3 FM radio station based in Ripley, Mississippi. Then it's released as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. You'll hear interviews with the movers and shakers in North Mississippi who are making things happen. I'll talk to entrepreneurs, leaders of business, medicine, education, and the people behind all the amazing things happening in North Mississippi. When people ask you, how did you know about that? You'll say, I heard it on the Shark. Heard It on the Shark is brought to you by the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area. We want you to get out and discover the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of the Mississippi Hills that are right in your backyard. And of course, we want you to take the Shark 102.3 FM along for the ride. Musical credit belongs to Hill Country Blues guitar legend Gary Burnside and the late great Buddy Grisham, playing Long Way Home from their album Acoustic Brothers, which was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
This program was recorded at Sun Bear Studio in Ripley, Mississippi.
Hey Shark fans, it's Melinda with another episode of Heard It on the Shark, and today I'm very honored to have in Sun Bear Studio with me Sergeant Jordan Gillespie, who is the new United States Marine Corps recruiter for our area. Sergeant Gillespie, thanks so much for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Okay, now I say recruiter for our area. What exactly is your area?
I cover everything from as far north as Selmer, all the way down to Belmont, and all the way over to Potts Camp, that kind of triangular, squarish area.
That's a lot of area.
It is. It is.
So tell me, what's a day in the life look like for you? Are you in high schools every day?
I try to be. I try to show the kids that, I'm here and that I'm invested in their futures. But obviously right now, school's out. So I'm just going through the towns, trying to meet and greet people.
Oh, yeah. So this is a brand new job for you.
This is. I just recently got here in the last semester of the last school year, around like January, February. Okay.
And before we started our interview, you said that you and your wife both are in branches of the military. So tell me, here's your big chance to make your elevator pitch for why the Marines. Why, when people decide that they are going to sign up to serve, should they choose the Marines?
So for me, I think that the Marine Corps is very unique in quite a few ways. It's unique in the sense of challenge. It's unique in the sense of pride. There's so much opportunities that come your way in the military because of how small of a branch we are. We want you to become a one-man band rather than a one-trick pony. When my wife was in her service, she was just a medical physician and kind of like the front desk secretary. Not a whole lot of lateral movement for her. But like for me in the Marine Corps, I've been able to, I signed on as a helicopter mechanic. And then I went from doing helicopter mechanics to doing a lot of the administrative and program areas, getting really deep into not just turning wrenches, but also administrative tasks, prioritizing the workloads, and moving up into the supervisory roles while going into things like OSHA, the EPA, just really broadening the scope on that, as well as being able to take advantage of a lot of the different courses and opportunities. I mean, I've been able to go to the Key West. I've been able to go to Arizona for, weeks and months at a time. We went up to New York just for a weekend to watch somebody get promoted. There's a lot of camaraderie because once Marine, always a Marine. That's one of our, key slogans, and it's really true.
I'm so glad that you described it that way. I never thought about it as this small cadre of people who have great depth of knowledge. That is a good recruiting tool for a certain type of person. I love that. Okay, and so what age people generally are you talking to?
Generally speaking, I'll be talking to the upper classmen of high school, so juniors and seniors. So that varies a little bit between 16 to 18. But I also talk to a lot of graduates who are going to be anywhere from 17 all the way up to 25, 26. But that's just generally speaking. If people are feeling the dream a little bit later in life, that's perfectly okay, and it's going to be kind of a case by case basis.
Do you do a lot of public outreach also for younger kids so that they can see you in your uniform and they can see what the Marines have to offer? I guess I'm thinking about like county fairs or public events like that.
So just like we said earlier, I'm brand new to the area, so I am trying to find these places to go. I know that the Fire on the Mountain is coming up. I'm looking to try to be a part of that, as well as any of the other community events. Like I know the people over in Ashland have a farmers market that I would like to also be a part of.
Okay, so Shark fans, you're hearing what he's saying. If you would like for the U.S. Marine Corps to come in and participate in your event, you can give him a call. But let's talk about that. What if somebody listening has a child or a grandchild who might be interested in enlisting, or if they would like for you to come and participate in their event? How can they contact you?
So my office is up there in Corinth. It's at 1687 Virginia Lane, Corinth, Mississippi, 38834. And my cell phone number is 662-664-1550. As well as anytime you guys see me, going through Walmart or, walking around the block, you guys are always, free to stop me and just ask questions, because I encourage everybody that, not everybody is going to be a Marine. However, I was always taught, you never shut a door before you look down the hallway, because there's a lot of possibilities that the Marine Corps has, and not knowing about it is just one of those consequences that, this could have been a golden ticket.
Absolutely. I think a lot more seniors juniors and seniors should at least look down that hallway. I like that. It's not saying yes, it's just saying, let me check it out and see. So I like that you're here for us to do that. Now, I want you to tell me, you've told me the good stuff about the Marines, but tell me about basic training. When they first sign up, how hard is that?
So boot camp in the Marine Corps is going to be the toughest set of challenges that they will have faced at this point in their career, at this point in their life. Because for a lot of people, this is going to be the first time that they're away from mommy and daddy. They're going to get sick because there's people from all walks of life showing up. And so now they're sick. They're tired, they're exhausted. And so a lot of the people who end up not making it all the way through, they leave strictly because of the mental side of it, like not being able to have that positive mental attitude, the foresight of knowing like, hey, like this is rough right now, but it will get better. So, one of the things that we always say is that, we don't need you ready, we need you determined. Because if you don't have your head in the game from the start, it's not going to work out. One part of my job as a recruiter is to get people ready physically for boot camp before they even leave. And then when they go to boot camp, they already have their head in the game. Mom, dad supporting them through, writing them positive letters and stuff like that, as well as they know that I and them have put in our best foot forward in terms of getting them ready and being able to pass all of the requirements.
How long is boot camp?
For the Marine Corps, it is 13 weeks. We have the longest boot camp.
Oh, 13 weeks. That is long. That's hard. Now, how hard was it for you? What week was the hardest for you?
I think the hardest week for me was definitely week 1 or 2. You're still adjusting. Everything's like up is down is up, left is right, right is left. Nothing's making sense. You're getting yelled at to go here, and then you're waiting, and you're like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's next. Somebody please help. But then as you go through your first phase, because Marine Corps boot camp is broken up into 4 phases, first phase is designed for that. It's designed to confuse you and kind of break all the bad habits. And then week 2 is where the drill instructors are going to start giving you a little bit of leash, a little bit of responsibility, allowing you to build yourself back up, not as to what you were, but into a Marine.
Okay, so you went through all that and became a Marine. And so what made it worth all the trouble to get there?
I think, just like the old saying, like hindsight is 20/20. I'm from Mississippi. I graduated over there in Horn Lake, Mississippi in 2018. And there's a lot of my classmates and people that I knew from over there who are still doing these very same things that they were when I left. I have my own house. I have my own family. I have my own cars. I'm in a great place in my career. And, some of them are still over there working at McDonald's or, things like that.
You graduated high school in 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that says a lot right there, because you're very mature to be as young as you are. I didn't realize you were that young. Okay, that is a great statement for the Marines. So it grew you up. It got you on the right track fast.
Oh, absolutely. Maturation is a huge part of being a Marine. Before coming out here, I was, like I said, doing a lot of administrative, a lot of leadership. And so I was directly and indirectly in charge of about 450 people before I came out here to do the recruiting. So there's a grow up quick.
Get on to the next thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Get on. Okay. Now, Sergeant Gillespie, we're going to put your contact information in the show notes. So if you're listening to this on the radio, you can go to the website, shark1023.com, click on that podcast tab, and you'll find all of his contact information there. So if you're driving, don't worry about missing the phone number, but I do want you to say it for us one more time. Where are you and what's your phone number?
Absolutely. So my office is located in Corinth, Mississippi at 1687 Virginia Lane Drive, Corinth, Mississippi 38834. And my phone number is 662-664-1550.
Okay, I'm so glad you came by, and I'm glad that you're going to be in the area. I look forward to seeing you at the events that we have, and I'll see you, I'm sure, very soon.
Absolutely.
All right, Shark fans, that's it for this edition of Heard It on the Shark. You have been listening to Sergeant Jordan Gillespie, who is the new United States Marine Corps recruiter for this area. You can tune in every Tuesday at 11 o'clock to find out what's going on with other local community leaders. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for an interview, or if you want access to this interview, go to our website, shark1023.com, and click on the podcast tab. Keep it tuned to the Shark 1023 and have a great rest of the day.
The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area was established by the United States Congress in 2009 and represents a distinctive cultural landscape shaped by the dynamic intersection of Appalachian and Delta cultures. This intersection has produced a powerful concentration of nationally significant cultural icons, including King of Rock and Roll Elvis Presley, First Lady of Country Music Tammy Wynette, blues legend Howlin' Wolf, civil rights icons Ida B. Wells Barnett and James Meredith, America's favorite playwright Tennessee Williams, and Nobel laureate William Faulkner. The stories of the Mississippi Hills are many and powerful, from music and literature to Native American and African American heritage to the Civil War. The Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area supports the local institutions that preserve and share Northeast Mississippi's rich heritage. Begin your discovery of the historic, cultural, natural, scenic, and recreational treasures of our region by visiting the Mississippi Hills National Heritage Area online at mississipphills.org.
This show is made possible by JC Media, LLC in Ripley, Mississippi. JC Media owns the Shark 102.3 Classic Rock FM radio station where the show is hosted, and Sun Bear Recording Studio where the interviews are recorded. We need your feedback and support. If you listen to the podcast on a player like iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music, please subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We also have an email in which you can share your feedback. That email is theshark1023@gmail.com. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite app or stream episodes online at shark1023.com/podcasts. Today's episode was produced by Melinda Marsalis. It was edited by Rick Williams and engineered by Chris Marsalis. The podcast technician is Joyce Grady.